Hello and welcome back to Tindalos Gaming, and welcome back to my playthrough of the skirmish game Fear of the Dark and Sons of the New Moon campaign. This is episode 2. Just a quick recap on where we ended up from the last episode. Our investigators, our hardy investigators, are currently searching for a gentleman called Henry Towers, who seems to have gone missing. Henry is working on a horror book that involves potentially a cult, and in the last scene we went off to the park to speak with Professor Stern to see if we could find anything out, and we were ambushed by a couple of armed men at the time, and poor old Harold, one of our investigators, was actually taken out completely. So we're down to 4 investigators, but that's the way the game goes. So we're going to now move on to the next part of the campaign. And as I've said in the previous episode, there are spoilers. I am playing through the campaign fully. So, you know, we are working through the sort of choose your own adventure type part of the Fear of the Dark, which is a really cool element. So yeah, just to make you aware, full spoiler alert, that we are working through the full campaign. And also I am recording this, clearly going to be recording this and playing the game at the same time, so bear with me if I do make any mistakes. I have played the game a few times off camera, but when you're running a game on your own and also trying to sort of work out cameras and various bits and bobs, then some things can be missed or misinterpreted. So my apologies if I've done that, but it's not intentional. I just play for fun. Like to get some videos up on YouTube, and I hope everybody's enjoying what I'm doing so far. So, like I said, we're moving on now to episode 2, and where we left it, we were coming to where the scene ends, and we had a few bits that we could choose. So let's move across to the overhead camera so we can see. Okay, so this is where the book, the main campaign rulebook. This was the scene that we've just played, and it gives us a number of areas to go to depending on what happened. The first one is if the characters survive and the professor is alive, go to 10, which is what we're going to do. I'm not going to read the other 2 because, you know, that too many spoilers there, but it says if the characters survive and the professor is alive, go to 10. So we're going to go to area 10, and we're going to read that. So it says under 10, after a brief shooting, people flee the scene, including the characters, who are unaware if there are more armed people around. They quickly run away down an alleyway, dragging the university professor with them. As they continue to flee, checking that no one is chasing them, they hear the muffled screams of people in the distance and the sirens of the police arriving to the park. When they finally feel safe, they are finally able to speak to the Professor Ian Stern, fearful that they may be attacked again without ever knowing the relationship between the 2 people. The Professor, really upset, does not know who the 2 armed men were, although if Henry has disappeared, he thinks it must be related, as he has never been in a situation like this before. As the Professor tells them, Henry wanted to write a horror novel, something typical and nothing out of the ordinary in that genre, with ominous sex, terrible monsters and anonymous heroes who saved the world in extremis. And to make it more realistic, he was documenting the structure and ways of acting of different sects. Professor Ian Stern is a member of the anthropology department and has written several books about several sects throughout history. So Henry contacted him to gather information for his book. Professor Ian Stern pointed him to a number of books to guide him in his search, and this is how Henry discovered the Sons of the New Moon, a sect that disappeared about 5 years ago that worshipped a divine being called the New Moon. Intrigued by their story, Henry began to research this particular sect to set the scene for his book. He looked for books, visited places they frequented, tried unsuccessfully to talk to former members. The story of the Sons of the New Moon fascinated him, especially their sudden disappearance, which he thought he would include in his novel. Henry handed him a pile of notes on some kind of ritual of worship to this divine being, in the hope that the professor could find similarities with other rituals. The professor, looking through his briefcase, pulls out several handwritten sheets of paper explaining the ritual itself in all of its phases, the last of which is called Closing the Door. Knowing how important it could be, the investigators keep these notes about this ritual of worship of the being known as New Moon in order to study them in detail. The characters obtain the ritual for closing the door, which will be detailed at the end. The last time the professor saw Henry, more than a fortnight ago, Henry was very excited, as he told him that the Sons of the New Moon might not have disappeared, and that some members of the sect might be living and hiding among us, and that he was following that line of investigation, and that was the last time he spoke to him. The professor says he knows nothing else that might be of interest to the characters, and terrified tells them that he has a friend in Chicago who can take care of him, as he wants to disappear from the city for some time. After talking to the professor, the characters decide to leave. They 1d6. With a result of 6 or more, they will go straight to the numbered entry 20 instead of choosing any other line of investigation. For each line of investigation they have checked, we will add +1 to that d6 roll, so that we will have, when investigating the first location, roll 1d6. When investigating the second location, roll 1d6 +1. When investigating the third location, roll 1d6 +2. And if no result of 6 or more, taking into account the possible modifiers, was rolled after checking the different lines of investigation, after investigating the fourth and last location, go directly to the entry number 20. If no results of 6 or more, including possible modifiers, is rolled, or they should not go to the entry number 20, the characters can check another of the lines of investigation they have not yet visited. So does that mean that we do that now? Okay, well, we're going to roll now, so let's go across to the dice tray quickly. And there we go. We're going to need a d6, which is what I've got here. We'll roll a d6 and see what we get. I don't think I'm going to get +1, because I haven't investigated it. No. So we're going to get a 5, which means we then choose on the table or the book. So we get a choice. We can visit the university library, we can visit the Old Glory Antique Shop, or we can go to Henry Towers Lake House. Well, come on. This is a classic Lovecraftian adventure. So we are going to go to the university library, number 13. Arriving at the university library, you find a large number of people reading books or taking notes in silence. It is quite dark, in contrast to the numerous green-tinted reading lamps on each table. They quietly approach one of the librarians, asking about the book New Moon by Robert Sanders. After looking at it in the filing cabinet, he tells them that they must leave an ID to get a library pass to check the book, warning them that they cannot take the volume out of the premises. Once the formalities have been completed, the librarian brings them an old tome and invites them to take a seat at one of the more secluded tables. The characters take a seat, and under an antique lamp with a green shade, they look through the book in depth. It is a book with blackened covers, and on the front cover there is a circle engraved in relief representing a moon. The book New Moon is a detailed study by a reporter and aspiring writer about a sect that existed until relatively recently, the Sons of the New Moon. Through books, interviews and newspaper clippings, the author reflects on how the group was created and how it worked. This sect formed a close-knit community in which they all lived together with the aim of worshipping some kind of superior deity, which they refer to as the New Moon. At first glance, it seems like a typical cult formed with the intention of tricking people into joining in order to swindle them out of their money and possessions. About 5 years ago, the sect suddenly disappeared, and this is reflected in a large number of newspaper clippings documenting what happened, as well as testimonies obtained by the police. According to police evidence, during one of the rituals something went wrong, as a large number of the members disappeared without a trace, and a few who did not disappear were mentally disturbed, and several of them had to be permanently committed to mental health institutions. Classic. The author made an intensive study going to 2 mental sanatoriums and managing to interview some of the survivors. The authors detail how they are completely crazy. These survivors answered to the author's questions that the new moon had taken their friends, describing the new moon as a whirlwind of darkness with eyes while violins play in the background, just mumbling some sort of song. At one point in the book, the author explains the new moon worship ritual, which consists of several parts, and the last part is the one that closes the door. At this point, he tries to reproduce some of the litany, a bunch of disjointed words without any sense of order. But he writes that this is part of the ritual that the members of the sect used to close the door, implying that this is precisely what went wrong when a large number of the members of the sect disappeared. Knowing its importance, the investigators take notes about the ritual of worship or of the being known as the New Moon. The characters obtain the ritual to close the door, which will be detailed at the end. After consulting the book, the characters decide to leave the library. They must now roll 1d6 with a result of 6 or more. They will go straight to the number at entry 20. So instead of choosing another line of investigation, for each line of investigation they have checked, we will add +1 to the d6, so that we now have. So we've investigated the first. I'm saying now we're going to get +1 because we've investigated that. So let's see what we get. So d6 +1, we get 6. Excellent. So it says they must now roll 1d6 with a result of 6 or more. They will go straight to entry 20, which is what we're going to do. So 20. At one point, while carrying out the various investigations or going from one location to another, the characters approach the house of one of them, and from the door they hear the phone ringing. They quickly enter, and when they pick it up, they are shocked to hear Henry Towers on the other end of the line. Henry, noticeably nervous, speaks continuously without letting the characters speak as he frighteningly begs for him help. He seems to be really frightened. "Oh my God, why didn't you pick up the phone? I need your help. I'm in big trouble. It's them. I got too close. They kidnapped me, but I managed to escape from the church. You have to help me. I'm in Bridgeport, a small town in the mountains. I thought they'd disappeared, but I was wrong. They're crazy. I'll try to get to the Red House. I must get to the bottom of all this. If you hear the violins, run. Run like you've never run before in your life. And for F's sake, don't look back. I'm effed. But please don't leave me here. I don't want to die. Not this way." The line cuts off slightly and is no longer heard. The line is dead. It seems that Henry, in his investigations, got too close to a group of dangerous people They kidnapped him and he has managed to escape. We must rush to the small town of Bridgeport and find Henry before his captors find him. The characters quickly grab their equipment and rush to the car to leave for Bridgeport. The clock is ticking. Every minute could be vital. From this point, any lines of inquiry that have not been checked remain uninvestigated, and locations that have not been visited cannot be visited. To travel to Bridgeport, go to 23. The characters drive to Bridgeport, remembering Henry's words and any details that might be important. He managed to escape from the church and was going to flee to the Red House. It shouldn't be hard to find a church in such a small town, and in fact, it shouldn't be hard to find a Red House either. They just hope they get there in time. On the map, it looks like a small village buried in the woods and far from other villages or towns. The road is a journey through forests, farmland and wasteland, and the closer that they get to the village, the more scarce the traces of civilization become. Fewer and fewer cars or houses, and the roads in worse conditions. They seem to be travelling back in time to the past. Meanwhile, meeting the first horse-drawn carriages reinforces that idea. As they approach Bridgeport, they stop at a small gas station in the nearest town to get some fuel and ask for directions, where they're told how to get to Bridgeport. The gas station is a mere petrol pump next to the small garage where a man sits in a chair wearing tatty, dirty overalls. As they stand there asking for directions, they hear a voice behind them asking, "Are you going to Bridgeport? What are your businesses over there? Nobody goes to Bridgeport. There's nothing but fields and trees." As they turn around, they meet a policeman who looks at them with a smile on his face. When asked about Bridgeport, he comments, "Bridgeport is a very quiet place. Nothing ever happens there. It's a small town full of very religious people who don't get into trouble. And what exactly are you looking for in that town?" At this point, the characters could tell the policeman what is going on and ask for help, or they can tell him nothing and go on their own. It is tempting to have a police officer help them, but it's probable that he's going to be asking for psychiatric help for the characters. The characters can tell the police officer part of what is going on. Basically, that a friend is in trouble and that he's been kidnapped by a group of unknown but very dangerous people holding him in the church, and that he is heading towards the Red House. Or they can choose to give some excuse and not tell him anything. Right, so if I do tell him I go to 26, if I don't tell him I go to 27. Well, being a seasoned Lovecraftian investigator, I'm not going to tell the policeman because I've got a feeling that he could be part and parcel of the set. I might be paranoid, I might be ultra paranoid, but I'd rather be paranoid and alive than not paranoid and dead. So I'm going to go to 27 because I'm not going to tell the policeman. Nothing, officer. We're interested in real estate acquisitions in the area. We belong to a company that might be interested in buying real estate in outlying areas of the county. You can't imagine how many people want to escape from the big city and seek the peace and quiet of the countryside. The agent looks at them for a second, studying them, and then tells them with a smile, "If it's peace and quiet what you're looking for, you've chosen the best town in the state. Bridgeport is as quiet as a graveyard." After this, he turns his back into the workshop where he was chatting with a man. Once away from the police officer, they return to their car and continue to drive towards the quiet town of Bridgeport. Go to 22. Okay, 22. After a long drive along twisting mountain roads lined with lush forest, you eventually reach a valley where the small town of Bridgeport rests. At dusk, it looks like a small ghost town with no one on the streets and the windows shuttered. As the character's car drives slowly down the main street, they see a few establishments such as a shop, a bar and a small inn. At the top of the hill in the near distance, the tower of a church can be seen. The characters park their vehicle in an alley next to the inn, and keeping a close eye on their surroundings, they enter the small inn. Inside the inn, they find a small hall with a counter, behind which stands an elderly lady who looks at them over her glasses. The characters can sense that the lady is annoyed that they are in the inn, but nevertheless she assigns them 2 rooms out of the 5 rooms in the inn, giving them the keys and asking them some questions, those showing no interest at all in the answer, and about their reason for the visit to Bridgeport. Once lodged, the characters meet in one of the rooms and discuss what to do next. Deciding to go to the church where their friend seems to have been locked, even though they know it's risky. Henry's tower's life is in danger and every minute counts. To walk to the church, go to 17. The characters leave the inn after dark and once on the street begin to walk down the street towards the church, whose location can be guessed by the steeple peeking out over the roofs of the houses. The streets are silent and empty. Only a stray dog comes out as the characters pass by. Darkness reigns in the village, dimly lit by moonlight. At the end of the street, a metallic noise catches their attention. They see a man appear from behind a corner, dragging his feet like sleepwalking, dragging an axe, which is scraping on the ground and bouncing off the cobblestones. To continue, go to scene 2. Right, here we go. We're off to scene 2. So scene 2. This is the small town of Bridgeport. We will see a 90 by 90 table with narrow streets and houses that populate it, as well as fences, cars and any element of terrain that gives life in our scene. The more terrain on the table, the more realistic it will be and the more immersive the experience will be. Characters will start in any point that they want within their deployment area, which is at one corner of the table, 2 inches from the edge of the table and 45 centimetres from the table's corner in both directions. And their objective will be to get to the exit area, crossing the streets of the town without being seen and managing to go unnoticed. When a character reaches the exit area, he will have been considered to have achieved their objective and will no longer count in the scene, and will no longer be able to act. The idea is to get all of the characters off, or as many as possible, to the opposite end of the table unharmed. And there's our deployment area here. On the table we will place several villagers, 8, randomly rolled 2d10 like we did in the first scene, and after locating the approximate points where they will appear, we will place the miniature of each one of them closest to the nearest cover, so that's fine. Once they have located the point where they will start, they will remain there until something catches their attention. These villagers are all extras and will be armed with knives and axes, and one of them will actually carry a pistol. They will remain in their assigned location and will not move. If any time a character is through the line of sight within 30 centimetres of one of them, you can make an intelligence roll, and if successful, the villager will detect the character and run towards him, screaming with the intention of killing him. If a character is within 20 centimetres of their line of sight, make an intelligence roll adding +3 to the result, and if successful it's the same. Once one of the characters is detected by a villager, he will run towards him, shouting with his weapon with the intention of attacking him, which will cause the 3 closest to the detected character to also run towards that character as if they had been detected by him as well. If a character uses a firearm, the villagers who are still inactive, because they've not been detected by anyone within 30 centimetres, will run towards that character as if they've been detected by him. If more than one of the characters is spotted by a villager, they will always attack the closest one they have, and the fight until they are down or killed. Once any of the village characters is detected by villagers, at the beginning of each turn we will introduce 1d3 new villagers randomly by using the usual system. Okay. After locating the approximate points where they will appear, the miniature of each will be placed behind the nearest colour. And to see how they're armed, we roll. 1 to 5 it's a knife, 6 to 9 is an axe, and a 10 is a pistol. There's our stats. The villagers are strength 3, dexterity 3, intelligence 5, melee of 5, range of 5, 1 life points. We've got a big knife, an axe, and a pistol. And there are 8 villages. Okay, so right, we are moving on to scene 2. I'm going to get the table set up, try and build a little village, and then we'll move back to the table once that's all done. So that was a good little session, and I'll see you across at the table in a few seconds. Well, for you it'll be a few seconds. For me it'll probably be a couple of hours. See you in a sec. Okay, welcome back. For you, it's been a quick swipe of the TV screen or the mobile screen or whatever you're watching on. And for me, it's been a little bit of time setting up the streets or the village for scene 2. Now, I've done a lot of the heavy lifting. So I've got the overhead camera here. We've got some houses. We've got some sort of trees, some walls, so we've got some park benches, etc. Tried to get the sort of best scene I could. Again, like a lot of you guys and girls out there, I've only got limited access to scenery, so I've got to make the best of it. But hopefully this is pretty good, pretty decent. So that's the overhead view, and I'm going to go through each camera as we go. That's the sort of left-hand side of the scene as we see it. We've got our heroes set up down here, or investigators in their deployment zone. I'm going to come across to other guys in a second. Then we've got the right hand side, and we're looking to get off over in this corner here, the opposite corner. So we want to go from sort of left to right is the general principle, without being seen by too many villagers. So let's get across to a mobile look, and hopefully you can see this. So we've got our investigators set up down here. I have randomly deployed the villagers as per the rules on page 64 of the main rulebook. I didn't really expect you to sit through me setting up 8 random locations. Now I've got 8 villagers on here. 4 of them are dressed as cultists, and 4 of them are dressed as Morris men. Now the villagers, I've got down the 4 people with knives are all the Morris men, so that's quite simple. So all of the Morris men are armed with knives. We've got 3 of the red cultists with an axe, and we've got 1 with a pistol. So this guy here has got an axe. The guy with the pistol is the one with the staff, so he's got a pistol. Morris men has got a knife, and so we can see where they've been randomly set up. I had to then move them into cover as per the rules. So let's just come round. You can see a couple of more cultists there that have got axes, and this is where we're looking to get off into this corner here. We'll ignore the water for the time being. We'll just say that shallow little promenade type thing. So we're coming from over there all the way over to here. I've marked with a little lamppost. That's the 45 centimetre mark there where I need to get off, and my camera overhead camera thing is the mark of 45 there. So it's anywhere along this line here. And then we've got Morris men, 2 Morris men there. And you can see by the cultists right up. Classic English telephone box. Don't know what that's doing in America, but maybe somebody bought it over. So there we go. Why's that gone out of focus? There we go. You can see the camera set up a little bit. And then we've got our cards. We're going to build our activation deck in a second. So let's just go across to the overhead camera. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we're going to build our activation deck. We've got 8 enemy cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. We've got 4 player cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need 1 of the random event cards. So let's turn those over. Give those a shuffle. Catweasel cut, and then that one can go into there. There we go. Goes there for a second. And what we'll then do is we'll take all of these cards and we'll give them a shuffle. Is I'll do a proper shuffle on the, just to make sure these are all 1, 2, 3. Do some random stuff just to make sure it's really random. Make sure they've got a good old shuffle on them. Last thing we want is sort of them all to be clumped together. Well, it is what it is. So there we go. That's our activation deck done, ready to start. We've got 4 danger tokens and 4 opportunity tokens that we need to allocate first and foremost, so the AI knows what it's doing. Okay, so I think probably, if you can see this one over here, across the right camera, this guy here, oh you can't see him, he's just off camera, but I'm going to give him a danger token because he's near to the, or do I give him an opportunity token? Because he could potentially be shot, so give him a danger token, give him a danger token, give him a danger token, and then give him, these are all ones nearest, and then I'll give him an opportunity token, this one an opportunity token, there's one down here you can't just see it towards the back, and then one there, so they're all going to come flying forward hopefully. Okay, we've got our cards out, we've got our villagers, so we can just have a quick look. So we've got our villagers card, so we know they're strength 3, dexterity 3, intelligence 5, melee 5, a range of 1, and there's 4 of them with knives, 3 with axes, and 1 with a pistol. Okay, so I think we're ready to start the turn. Right, so let's draw our first card and let's see what we get. We're going to get Player's Warband. Player's Warband. So that's me to activate first. Now the idea is to sneak. The idea is to sneak. I need to stay out of. I need to really stay out of 30 centimeters, which is going to be really tricky. Oops. Camera on properly. Okay. So we're starting off down here. So no way I'm going to be able to sneak past him. So do I go this route? Well, fortune favours the brave. Let's move with Earl. He's going to move to there. So it says Earl is activated, so I'll put a little activated token by him. So there clearly is line of sight, although the wall's blocking, it doesn't block, full line of sight. So he is within 30 centimeters. Oops. He is within 30 centimeters. So that means we make an intelligence roll for the villager. And the villager, as we know, is intelligence 5, so 5 or less for the villager to be able to spot him. We got 4, so the villager does spot him. If successful, the villager will detect the character and run towards him, screaming with the intention of killing him. If the character is within 20 centimeters of their line of sight, they get +3. So they get to move 5 inches. And they get 2 activations because they're considered to be an extra. And 10 is going to place him. Oops, sorry. Can't really see that very well. Just trying to get the best angle for you. So this cultist is moving 10 centimeters or 10 inches. It's going to be in base contact with Earl. Move the danger token. Oh dear. Okay. So that is it for Earl. It says once one of the characters is detected by a villager, he will run towards him, shouting with his weapon with the intention of attacking him, which will cause the 3 villagers closest to the detected character to also run towards that character, as if they've been detected by him as well. Okay, so the 3 closest ones. Well, that one's close, that one's close, and I think the next closest is this one over here. So to there, and then 5 to there, go 5 to there, and then 5 to there. everybody in quite fast. So just have a look, see where we've ended up. So this one moved from behind the building here. This one moved from behind the building around here, and this one moved from across there, like that. So that's where we're at, and that's the rest of our investigators there. So let's see what activates next. We'll draw a card, and it's going to be an enemy's warband. And the way that works, I believe, it's anything with a danger token. Let's just have a quick check. 34, just make sure we got it right. So the activation order for those with tokens on them is first is the characters that have 2 different tokens on them. Well, none of them do. The second is those characters that have an opportunity token on it. So it's going to be these ones at the back. But they don't activate. Just reading the villagers. It says on the table we'll place several villagers. We'll place the miniature of each one of them behind the nearest couple. Once they're located at that point where they will start, they will remain there until something catches their attention. Okay. So they don't need an opportunity token. So let's say this one at the back here is activated. So that's that one done. And then we go back to the deck, sorry. And we're going to draw a player's warband. Well, I think right, I think I'm going to get Grace Carson to move. So you can see it. So Grace is going to move, and she's going to move 5 inches to there. And she is going to shoot her pistol. She's going to shoot her pistol. I know that's going to cause a lot of headaches, but we need to clear these. We need to clear this bit out now. I'm just deciding whether to use a hero point or not, because this is going to be quite critical. Yeah, I think I am. I'm going to use a hero point on Grace before she rolls. So let's have a look. Oh, actually, she's within close cover, I think. Let's have a quick look. don't think we're going to need to use a hero point. Is she less than 5 inches away? She is less than 5 inches away, so she's classed as basically short range. So she is close range, so she's going to get a +2 to her roll. So Grace, as we know, bring it up. Grace is a shoot of sort of range combat of 6. That's going to go to 8 because she's within close range of the Morrisman. So she's within 5 inches here. So she's going to go to 8 to hit. Let's see what we do. And 7 or less. Well, on 8 or less, we got a 7. So she hits. And she has got a pistol. And the pistol gives her 1d10 damage on the injury table. 1d10. Man, she gets a 2. Takes no damage. Takes no damage. Okay. That is Grace activated. She moved and she shot. And then any of them within 30 inches, any within 30 centimetres, if the character uses a firearm, the villagers who are still inactive, because they have not detected anyone within 30 centimetres, will run towards them. But there's none within 30. All the inactive ones are well over 30 centimetres away. So they're not going to, those ones at the back are not going to have hurt. These don't. Yeah, if a character uses a firearm, the villagers who are still inactive, because they have not detected anyone within 30 centimetres, will run towards that character as if they detected them. Well, these have already detected, so I'm not going to move those. That's the way I read it. Okay. I think that's it. So let's go to the pull, and we are going to get enemy warband, and that's going to be one of the ones at the back because they've got an opportunity token. So let's give it to this one here who's activated. I don't know if I've played this right. Tell me in the comments if I've played this wrong, but that's the way I've done it this turn round. And then we go back to the dice tray, or the dice tray camera, to see what we get, and we're going to get an enemy warband, which is going to be another one of the ones at the back. And this time let's do this one, activated. Back to the dice tray, and we're going to get all motivated. Next character that activates this turn gets an extra action. Put that to one side for a second, and then we'll draw enemy warband. And that's going to be the final one, so he's going to lose that action, unfortunately, because there's a model over here. Oh, sorry, can't see. Model over here in the corner that gets an activated token. Okay. Go back to the dice tray to see what card we pull. Enemy warband. Now it's going to be one of the ones. One of the ones here. So I think first of all, let's go with this guy down here who's in combat with Earl, and we'll do a fight action. Earl is obviously going to use his shotgun in combat, which he can do. I think, can he? Hang on a second. Don't know if he can. Let's have a look. Combat, melee combat, melee weapons, ranged combat. Ranged weapons are used in melee. Only weapons that are handled with one hand, pistols and revolvers. So he's not gonna. He obviously doesn't get any bonuses to his combat. He's a strength of 5. Well, sorry, he's a melee of 4. And the villager is a melee of 5. So this one is going to be Earl, so he needs a 4 or less, and this one needs a 5 or less. Wow, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. So the cultist, the villager, rolled a 7, so missed because it was his strength 5. Oh, he's got an axe. Hang on a second. What does an axe do? +1 to his fight, so he's actually fight 6, but he still rolled a 7. So that's good. He's missed, and Earl has landed a punch of a 1. I think a 1 is a critical hit. If memory serves me correctly. Let's just double check. Yep. When a character attacks another, when he's making a die roll in the corresponding combat skill, if he rolls a natural 1, it will be considered a critical hit. So he gets +2 on the injury roll. That's pretty good. So let's roll on the injury table at +2 for Earl. Another 2, but +2 is, well, 1 to 4 is no damage. Gordon Bennett, MB, rolling like usual. So Earl got a critical hit, but didn't manage to do the 1 damage he needed to take out the villager. There we go. There we go. God, blimey. This game sometimes. Well, me rolling dice. Typical. Right. Okay, so that is that villager activated. We can take his danger token away from him and put that there as activated. So next card, next draw, we're going to get enemy warband. Enemy warband. Well, this is going to get a little bit tricky for Earl now, I think, because I'm going to move this one into combat with Earl. Take his danger token away. And that's going to cause problems for Earl. Quick look for outnumbering. So by multiple combat mean when a character is engaged in close combat with several enemy characters. In this case, we'll add +1 to the melee combat test of each enemy character that outnumbered the lone fighter. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So, the villager, let's work this out. Oops, sorry. Overhead camera, and then we'll look at the villager's card. So here's a static melee of 5. That's going to go to 6 because of his knife. No, it's not a big knife, it's just a knife. So he's going to stay at 6. It's just a knife, doesn't say big knife. And then he's going to go to 6. So from 5 to 6 or less he will need. to hit Earl, and then Earl will still need his 4 or less. And we'll use the same dice again. So this one's for Earl, needs a 4 or less. This one needs a 6 or less. Now they both scored a hit. They both scored a hit. So we're going to roll on the injury table. Let's roll for Earl first of all. See what he does. Bloody hell! Seriously. A 3. And let's see what the villager rolls. Of course, yeah, it's a 5. It does 1 point of damage to Earl. He's got 2. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's that villager activated. So we'll put the activated token by him. And then we'll draw our next card, which is going to be Enemy's Warband. Same, I think, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat this time. So this guy is going to move to there. I think Earl's going down, unfortunately. And then he's going to hit him. He's going to hit him, and he's going to get +2 this time round. So he goes from fight 5 to fight 7. So we need 7 on this dice, and then Earl's going to try and hit back. So 7 on this dice, 4 or less on this dice. So Earl misses with a 7, and the cultist or the villager hits with a 5. Let's see what damage he does. Oh, what's that? That's a 1. The skull is a 1 because there is a 0 or a 10. So the skull is a 1. Oh, that was lucky. Earl gets away with it. Earl gets away with it. Yeah, I could have just... Earl didn't win any of those. He could have pushed back. He could have pushed back on one of them because I believe he won this one over here. It didn't damage him, so I'm going to push him back an inch. Like that. Yeah, I'll leave it as it is. But he did win that combat. Even if you don't deal damage, you can still decide to push them back by an inch. My apologies. It's trying to run a few games here without or too much going on in my head. Right, okay. So next activation, let's see what we get. We're going to get a player's warband. Right, we need to do some thinning of the herd here. I'm going to activate Rowena. Rowena's going to move 5 to there. And then she's going to unleash her pistol at this Morrisman. And she is a melee of 5. Sorry, a range of 5. It's less than 5 inches away, so I get +2 for that. So she's going to need a 7, and she gets a 7. 7 or less, so it's a good job that we did do that within 5 inches. And then we'll roll for damage, hopefully 4 plus. 1. Oh dear. And her third action is going to shoot the pistol again. So 7 or less. Got it. With a 5. Come on, 4 plus. Finally, a 6. So we take out that Morris man. We've got. And that is Rowena activated. So I've just put an activated token there. Then we go across to the dice tray again to see what we've got. And we've got Player's Warband. And we need to get Everett in the mix. So he's going to go ten to there, and he's activated. And then the final one left is an enemy's warband, which is going to be this dude here, and he's going to come flying towards all of the commotion. So he's going to go 10 inches to there. Take his danger token off. And that is it for turn 1. Wow, that was pretty non-impressive from Earl, who managed to land a couple of blows, just couldn't do any damage. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll restack, we'll get our board, we'll get all of our tokens off, we'll tidy up, and then we'll come back in a sec. Right? Cheers. Okay, we're back. Just quickly go to the mobile camera so you can see what I've done. So these 3 down here have got danger tokens because they're either in combat or they're in a dangerous position in front of our investigators. And then we'll place the opportunity tokens 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. We'll lose 1 danger token because we've got 1 missing. Next thing we need to do is we're going to need to just put our deck together. There's all of the cards there plus the random card which I'll pick in a second. But we're on to turn 2. Okay, so I'll take a random opportunity to one of the random events, do a cat weasel cut. I'll take that one there like that. And I'll give these a good old shuffle. Try and get a bit of a mix going. Give it a cut. And that's our deck ready to use. And we move on to turn 2. Let's see what we get from the good old deck of goodness. We are going to get an enemy warband, and as we know, that's an opportunity token. Opportunity ones go first because none of them have got 2 tokens on. So let's say this one over here has activated. He's just milling about, doing a bit of patrolling over near the house on the waterfront. Then we're going to get an enemy, which again we know is going to be one of the ones with an opportunity token on it. So we'll put it next to this guy down here. And then we will get an enemy. Bloody hell. And we'll do the same thing. Third enemy over here, activated. And then move back to the dice tray. Come on, player. Players Warband, here we go. Here we go. Right. I think I'm going to start off with Everett. And I really would like to kill one of these guys in combat. So let's just have a look. I want to make sure I get this right. So do I use a hero point? Page 12 of the rule book. I think it just gives me +2. Or +3. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to use one of my hero points on Everett, who's then going to move into combat with this guy here for his first action. And his second action, he's going to hit this guy. Oops, Daisy, wrong camera, sorry. Flicking around the cameras like anything. Okay, so Everett's going to get +3, so his melee goes to 9, and the villager is 5. Same dice as before, so let's see what we get. We get a 2 and we get a 7, +3, so that becomes a 4. So it's a 4 versus a 2. So they both hit. 4 versus a 2. And then we'll see what damage we get. So let's roll both of those dice and see what we get. Come on. So that's very good. That is, I will take that. Because the 4 from the villager is nothing. 1 to 4 is no damage, but a 6 from Everett takes that dude out. So he is gone. He is dead. Take that danger token away. Well done, Everett. Well worth using that hero point. So that's that one gone. I've got 1 hero point left. So that is Everett activated. Okay, and then we go to the pull, which is going to be Players Warband. Okay, I think a similar situation here. I'm going to activate Earl, who's going to use my last remaining hero point. So I've used my 2 hero points to give me +3. So now he is fight 7 against fight 5. 7 versus 5. Gives me +3, so that does take me down to 6. Oh no, that's not right. That's not right. It takes me up. So I miss Both of us miss. Let's just have a look to see what happens when we both miss. We both miss. If none of them succeeds in the combat roll, nothing happens and neither is injured, nor is there a winner of the combat. So they just stay locked in combat. And that is Earl activated. Oh no, that was his first action. Second action, I have to move if I can, which I'm not going to. I'm going to stay in combat, so I lose my. I think I lose my second action. Can you move out of combat? Can you move out of combat? I think you have to win a combat to push them out. So I'll say that he stays in combat. So that is Earl activated. They'll go to the next draw, which is going to be an enemy's warband. And that's the final guy activated up the top here. And so that's that. Okay, I should have taken 2 of those enemy cards out. Should have taken 2 of those enemy cards out because they're done. I'll give those a shuffle up. Sorry. Otherwise it's not. Okay. That's that. So next activation is going to be enemy's warband. We're going to activate this. Well, no, because he's already in combat, so he doesn't really need to do anything. So this guy is going to move towards the closest enemy, which is Grace. So he's going to go to there. He's going to try and hit Grace. Grace has got a combat and she's going to use her pistol. So she's got a range of 6 which she can fire in combat. Just a nice little shot of these 2. There we go. So Grace has got a combat of, or a ranged attack of 6 versus the villager's 5. Let's see what we get. Oh. Okay, they both hit. But Grace gets a critical, which is +2, I believe, on the injury table roll. Yeah, +2 on the injury roll. So let's roll the injuries. Now, again, very handy. The villager misses because it's a 1 to 4, and Grace gets a 10, which is 2 damage to the villager, which is more than enough to kill him. So that one's dead. And we'll take an enemy card out. Well, there's only 1 left in there actually, sorry. So I'll give us another shuffle. So that's it for the enemy. Grace took him out big style. Grace took him out big style. So let's see what we've got left. We have got enemy warband, which is going to be this villager over here versus Earl. Earl has only got a fight of 4. He can't use his shotgun in melee. And the villager is 5. So 4 and 5 respectively. Let's see what they get. Well, Earl misses, as does the villager. Yeah. The axe, gives him +1, but it still was only at 6. Still only at 6 and scored a 7. So there we go. That's that villager activated. Take his danger token away from him. And then really what we should have left, we'll see what we get. We're going to get player's warband. Now we need to start moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Rowena, who's going to move 5 to there for a first action. Second action, 5 to there. Third action, 5 to there. We need to start heading towards our exit point. And if we come round this way, as you more difficult to see, so try this angle. Oh no, let's try the right camera. We can't really see it. I'll move the cameras in a second. But she's coming down the right hand side, down here. Okay. So next action or next draw is going to be trapped. Next character cannot move this turn. And we know the last character is Grace. So she can't move. She'll just stay there and is activated. She's taken a breather after taking that villager out in good style. Okay, right. That's it for turn 2. A bit more successful that turn. We feel like we're on a bit of a roll now. So again, I'll tidy the table up and we'll come back in a sec. Okay, welcome back and welcome to turn 3. Got our deck of all the players we've got left remaining. We'll choose a random event card. Oops, daisy. Cut, and then we'll take that one, put that there. Those are our cards, and then we'll give these a shuffle. This is our activation deck. We'll just do a quick Jimmy shuffle. Try and get them as random as I can. Cut, and there we go. Okay, so I put a danger token on this model here. Now I've only got 3 of each now because I've only got 5 models remaining. So when you come to work out how many models you've got, then you divide it by 2 and then round it up. So he's got a danger token, and then obviously opportunity tokens 1, 2 and 3, and then this model hasn't got any tokens at all. I think that's the way it works. Please let me know in the comments if I'm getting this wrong, because I want to make sure I try and get it right. I've read the rules again and that's what it says. So there we go, that's where we're set up for. Okay, so let's draw our card to see what we get. Who's going to be going first? And we're going to draw an enemy warband, which we know is going to be one of those guys at the back. We'll put an activated token opportunity one first, so activated on him in the corner there. Next activation is going to be Player's Warband. And oops. Let's activate Earl. No, let's activate Everett, who's going to move for 1 and go into combat with this dude here. Now in the rules, it doesn't say, the way I read it about outnumbering, it talks about enemies outnumbering, doesn't talk about investigators, so I'm not going to play the outnumbering rule. Again, if I'm getting that wrong, please let me know. I'm doing myself, it's worse for me this way, but that's what I'm going to do. So Everett is going to hit the villager, and the villager is going to attempt to hit him back. Everett is 6 with his big knife, which gives him +1, so he's at 7. And the villager is at 5 with a axe, which gives him +1. So it's 6 versus 7. 6 versus 7. The villager misses by hitting a 9, and Everett misses by hitting an 8. Yep, that's right. They both missed. So that is Everett activated. So we'll put a token by him there. And then we'll draw our next card and see what we get. We're going to get Battle Frenzy. Next character activates will have an extra attack action this turn. So we'll leave that to one side so we'll remember it, and then we'll see what player we get. Enemy Warband. So it doesn't really make any difference because we have to activate those with an opportunity burst. So the opportunity token is going to go on this guy here. Back to the dice camera so we can see what we get, and we're going to get an enemy warband, which is going to be the last one with an opportunity token, which is here. And then back to the tray, and we're going to get a player's warband. So it's going to have to be Earl who's going to activate. We'll put an activated token by him, and he will attempt to hit the cultist. I keep saying the cultist, the villager. He is a fight of 4 against a fight of 6 for the villager. This could hurt. 4 for Earl, 6 for the villager. Earl misses, as does the villager. 9 and 8. These two are just having a little dance at the moment. Okay. What are we going to do next? Well, we need to draw a card for a second, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's draw a card. It's going to be Enemy's Warband. Now it's now the guy with the danger token on him. So it's going to be this guy here. Take his danger token off him. He's going to activate. He's going to get 1 hit against Earl. We know what it was. Earl is at 4 and the villager is at 6. Well, Earl misses completely with a 10, but the villager hits with a 3. So let's see what the villager does to Earl. Yeah, that's a 9. That takes Earl out of action. Earl is gone. Oops. Hurler's gone, so we'll take him off the board. We'll take a player card out. Just give those a bit of a shuffle. Okay. Let's see what happens next. We've got enemies warband, which is going to be this final enemy up in the corner there. He's not going to do anything, it's just going to be activated there. And then we know the final card is going to be Grace, player's warband. And she's going to She's going to start legging it, so she's going to move twice to there. Oops, sorry. She's moved twice to here, and she's activated. And that is turn 3. Well, these turns are going quite quickly now. Okay, I'll come back and tidy up the board and we'll come back to turn 4. Okay, turn 4. I'll place the cards or the tokens down. So this one down here, in the bottom top of the screen here, it's got a danger card, danger token on him again. And then we've got 3 opportunity tokens there for those 3. And then this guy over in the corner's got nothing. We'll take a random card for our event. So that one. And then we will shuffle these up. Let's give them a good shuffle this time. Again, we'll do a 1, 2, 3. Mix them up, do it again. Mix them up. And that gives us our activation deck. Okay, turn 4. Activation wise, let's see what we get. We're going to get a player's warband. It's going to be Everett. To see if he can just finally take out this really annoying villager. So, we know he is a fight of 6 with his big knife, he's a fight of 7, and the villager is a fight of 5 with his axe is a 6. So 7 and 6 respectively. So Everett gets it, but the villager doesn't with a 10. So then we roll to see what damage we can do on this villager. Oops. And finally we get the 9 we needed. The 9 we needed to take this villager out. It is gone. Right, we can start making some progress now. I'll take an enemy card out of the deck. Give them a shuffle. So that was Everett's first action. For his second action, he's going to move 5 to there. He's activated. Okay. Next, we're going to get a player's warband, who is going to be Grace. She's going to start moving, helping out Rowena. So Grace is going to move twice. So go 10 inches effectively. So she's going to go to there. And she's activated. Then I'm going to draw another card. And we're going to get an enemy warband, which we know is going to be the ones with the opportunity on them. So it can be this guy here. Going to get an activated token. Oops. Going to go back to draw our card. We're going to get player's warband, which is Rowena. I'm going to try and clear the way a little bit. Could be a bad mistake, but let's see. So she's going to move twice to there. Actually, she's just going to come back a little bit for a second. That's 2 actions, and then she's got a third action. She is going to shoot her pistol 12-inch range, which is in. And she's going to attempt to shoot it at the villager who's got no cover. So her shooting is a measly 5. We'll give it a go. See what she gets. She gets a 1. She gets a 1, which is a critical. So that gives us +2 on the injury roll. So let's see what she does to him. 4 becomes a 6, which is a dead villager. So he is dead. This one's dead. He's been shot to bits by Rowena. So take those tokens off. But we need to just check the scenario book, because that tells us when I shoot a pistol. If a character uses a firearm, the villagers are still inactive because they have not detected anyone within 30 centimetres will run towards that character as if they detected them. So within 30 centimetres of Rowena. That's 30. None. We are good. We are good. This could be alright now. This could be alright. So that's Rowena activated. Let's see what we get next. We're going to get an enemy warband, which is going to be this guy over here. He's got an opportunity counter on him. Just put an activated card on him. Next card, we're going to get an enemy's warband. Sorry, you can't see this. There's a bit of which is going to mean this one over here. And then we're going to do the next one, which is Player's Warband. Oh, should have took that one out because we've activated all of our characters. We've only got 3 now, not 4. And then we're going to get the final card, which is the enemy warband, which is the one over here who's activated. And that's it for turn 4. I think we are in a good spot. We are in a good spot. So again, I'll tidy up and come back for turn 5. Okay, here we are at turn 5. Things are looking pretty decent now. Let's just, again, we'll just take our random events deck, shuffle those up. Oops, Daisy. Take the top one, put that there. We've got our activation deck, which I'll shuffle. Give it a good old cut, or a good old mix up. Do that a couple of times. Good old mix up. So there we go. We are good to go with our activation deck. Oh, before I do that, sorry. Opportunity token on that one, opportunity token on that one, and an opportunity token on this one over here, because there's three danger. Well, there's 3 models divided by 2. Oh, it's actually 2. So I'll take it off here. So 2 danger tokens and 2. None of them are in danger. So I'd say 2 of them are in opportunity, and this one over here gets no token as normal. But we've just got to get off over this side of the board. So I think we're in a good position to get out of here. Poor old. Hopefully Earl will have survived. So let's see what the first activation is. First of all, we're going to get an enemy's warband, who's going to be an activated token on this one over here. I think I'm playing this right, because it does say in the scenario that they don't actually move unless they get line of sight within 30 centimetres. Next one. Oh, sorry. I'm showing you stuff I'm doing. Getting too ahead of myself. Put an activated token on this guy. Can you see that? Let's try another camera. No, still can't see it. Let's have a look at this one. No, my apologies, but he's got an activated token on him. We'll do the next pull from the deck. Good reflexes. Next character that activates will have an extra movement this turn. Come on, player. Come on, player. So we'll draw another card, which is a player's warband. That is good news. That is good news, because what that means is I can get Everett a bit closer to the others. So I think these two are going to be able to get off this turn. So Everett's going to move 10 to here. For his 2 moves. He's activated. He loses his. He's not got a shoot or a fight action. Oh, no, there's nothing that says you can't move. One of them has to be a move action, but it doesn't say that it's only a move action. Hang on, let me just double check. Move is 1 action. Okay. Doesn't say. So he's going to move for a 3rd time. He's moved twice. He's going to move for a 3rd time, which gets him off the board. In all honesty, this is over now, because these models over here aren't going to do anything. They're just going to stay still, and then Rowena, in her activation, she's going to move off, and in her action, Grace is going to move off the board as well. So we did manage to get 3 characters off the board at turn 5. I think it's because we came round this way. Okay, that was good. That was good fun. Started off a bit dicey down the bottom here, but we managed to eventually kill all the villagers we needed to kill. Like I say, let me know if I'm doing the danger and opportunity tokens correctly. In this scenario, it does specifically say that until they get line of sight, they actually just sort of stay there and don't really do anything. They're sort of more sentries than anything. So let's go to the campaign book. Well, first of all, let's roll for Earl and see what he gets for the recovery table. So let's roll on the recovery table for Earl. Oh, you're flipping joking me. You are joking me. Another 10. Another 10. Okay. That is Earl out of the game. So we're down to 3. We're down to 3 characters now for the next scene. Oh my god. I don't believe my roles in this game. I do not believe my roles in this game. But anyway, it is what it is. So let's have a read of the scenario. Okay, so it says, yeah, when the scene ends, we move on to some numbered entries. If they manage to survive, we go to 25. So what we'll do is we'll call it there. We'll start the the next part of the adventure. The choose the adventure bit on the next episode for episode 3. But yeah, really enjoyed this so far. It seems really simple. There's some good mechanics in it. I'm not entirely sure of that scenario. It felt a little bit lopsided, but then I might be getting things wrong. So please tell me if I am. Could always replay the scenarios at a later date. But I'm really enjoying it, liking the tables, liking the mechanics. Hope you are too. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Join the Discord server. I post stuff up in there. Like today when I've been doing some videoing, I've posted photos up of what I've been doing and how the board looks. So you get a bit of a cheeky insight into what's coming down the track on the channel. If you like what I'm doing, that'd be really good for you to comment. But anyway, look forward to seeing you on the next one and really enjoying this Fear of the Dark campaign, Sons of the New Moon. So take care of yourselves and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.